All right. Hello, internet friends. Welcome back. More patch 6.1 MSQ. We just got done wrapping up the post dungeon quest, and we press forward. We have 3 quests left, if my math is correct, based on the patch notes. So we are on sharing the wealth. Let's talk to Scions first. I hope you enjoyed the expedition, at least. Otherwise, it was a heavy purse to pay for a treasure map leading to a treasure we couldn't keep. Something like that. Sharing the wealth. Farshawn wishes to discuss the distribution of the treasure. Shall we begin? If we are to spend the treasure wisely, then we must first determine which groups would benefit most from monetary assistance. Some of my citizens may find it intimidating to speak with the satrap directly, so I would ask that you act in my stead. This is a quest where we become an NPC, essentially. It's also so loud here. I hope we go to a different location. There you are to visit Akali and Yedlemad, speak with Matsia and his people, and listen to their grievances. Astinian, I bid you do the same in Palika's stand. I will be conducting my own inquiries at the Giant Skull grounds. Once you believe you have ascertained the needs of the populace, we can reconvene at the Magaduta. Okay, so we don't get to stand here like an NPC. We have to go places. That's fine. Because this room is so loud. I know I have the volume turned up a little bit because I'm sort of in like RP mode, so people can hear stuff. It's not just background noise like the voices and things. But man, the that alchemical giant gold, brass, whatever structure behind me there in that wing of Razathan is so loud. So damn loud. It's a very clear skies day today in Favnair. And we're back here. This is where the dungeon is. Hello, Matsia. Obey, I was glad to see you returned unharmed. You finished with the boat then? Yes? Anything the village desperately needs? Well, I suppose that Kalzal's loss hit us the hardest. Oh yeah, the guy that turned into a blasphemy during the MSQ for the base game. I've been trying to find buyers for my fish, but although I sell a few here and there, it's so much more difficult than it was before. Everyone's still struggling to rebuild their lives. For now, we're just banding together as best we can. Okay. Yeah, what about all kind of information we're gonna get here? Because the Satanat wants to spread the wealth of this huge treasure. But if you just... It's the whole state of economics. If you give the people that need to buy fish money to buy fish, then the guy that sells the fish just gets rich, and then how does that turn into anyone else getting anything? Greetings and welcome, traveler. If this is your first visit to Favnair, then you must try my special Amra Lassi. Its refreshing zest cannot be beat. Was this the food we ate back in the day that wasn't very good? Was it the vendor that sold us something that we ate and it was bad? What could such a wonder cost you, wonder? Normally I part with 3 bottles for a generous price of 19,800 gil, but you are willing to go as low as even 10,000. You'd be practically stealing from me. That's all markup language to be marked down to make it sound like it's a deal. Stealing at that price? You're the only thief around here? Still not turning a profit these days? I am not Estinian. That's no reason to be rude. That's funny though. Times are harsh, my friend. The world may no longer be on fire, but we are still sifting through the ashes, so to speak. Sisters, spare me. We might as well have that ugly tower back for the scant few travelers we see these days. I myself barely have the coin to buy at local prices, I tell you. If I didn't charge the odd adventurer a small fortune for afternoon tea, I'd be scavenging for scraps in the street. 19,000 gil, though? I guess I don't know what kind of... Like, how much does stuff cost here in relation... What's a cup of coffee cost ya? Anyone know what a cup of coffee in Eorzea would cost? That's horrible, I'm sorry. But yeah, how much would a cup of coffee cost? Is it 500 gil? Is it kind of like, I would assume like yen in Japan? Everything is kind of in the hundreds. So is 19,000, that's not much then. Not at all. It's like 20 bucks. Sigh. Ooh. Got a little of a little yawn there. How fares the port? Well, it's in shambles, isn't it? The trade routes are open once more now that the danger is past, certainly, but no small number of merchants have had to sell their ships to make ends meet in the short term. Add to that the sailors we lost in the final days, and it's little wonder the flow of exports is no more than a pitiful trickle. If Kalzal and his consortium were still with us, I'm sure we'd have found a way to turn our fortunes around. Now, that was a man who got things done. God's rest his soul. You have spoken with key local figures and gained the understanding of the populace's hardship. Varshan awaits your report at the Megaduta. It seems like the port is the biggest thing hit by this. People had to sell their boats. Matsya seems fine, just being a trader. I don't know about the whole junk monger / guy selling tea for $20 a bottle. That might be a bit much. Yeah, I wonder how that's gonna... I wonder how that's going to translate to the information we share with the satrap. We shall find out momentarily. Which one is it again? It's just the Megaduta is the Aetherite. I didn't know it was called something different. Haven't been here, gone outside of the city in a while. I turned back on the notifications for the hunt trains and stuff. Man, there's so many damn hunt trains going now. People doing hunt trains and S rank mobs because the sacks of nuts currency is so much more valuable now as a catch-up component. Hello, Astinia. Could see my stint on Vritra's back did not go unnoticed. Couldn't take 2 steps before another Thavnarian was thanking me profusely for saving their home. Oh, I didn't do the deep voice. Oh well, no gravelly. Medieval Batman. Ah, my advisor's return. I just made it back myself. Why do you retain this vessel now that your true form is known? You could have flown across the island in a fraction of the time. Be that as it may, the sight of a massive creature descending from the sky can be startling, to say the least, and there are a few places I can enter comfortably without risk of flattening some cart or stall. And it's also more difficult to animate a dragon in these in-game cutscene moments, so maybe that's where that also comes from. I don't know. Those poor pixels on this armor. Fair enough. As for my inquiries, the people of Palakistan were unanimous in their reply. They are surviving. I got that too. Resources were stretched to the limit when refugees were pouring in, but they preserved with some assistance from Yilmad. Well, I understand they are always been an independent community, hunters and foragers and the like, and I was assured that the jungle provides for their needs for the most part. Palakistan was weathered the disaster better than most, it seems. I myself heard good news and bad. The quarrymen were cautiously optimistic, having just sold a full wagon of giant skull to a foreign trader, but such visitors are few and far between. Compared to our best years, the weight of stone leaving Thavnair has been light indeed. Our nation is small and isolated, its prosperity dependent on a steady stream of exports. Yeah. We must identify any obstacles to the flow of trade so we may begin working to remove them. Tell me, what did you learn in Yalimad? Words, hand motions. Words and hand motions. I see. Without a dedicated buyer, the average fisherman must struggle to offload his daily catch, which is why I believe we should first address the lack of ships and shortage of able-bodied sailors in Yedlamad. I'm reminded of a child I spied as I made my way back to the palace. His father lost at sea when the beasts sunk their vessel. So many variations of the same tragic tale repeated over and over. So many lives lost. Yeah. Flashback time. Oh, you're thinking of that. Yeah. The snake oil salesman apprentice kid. Although apparently that NPC from the early section that sold us the treasure map, that's a NPC from Final Fantasy XI. Saw that in a like a Reddit thread / Twitter thread kind of combination. It was posted from the Final Fantasy XIV Twitter that posts from Reddit. Whatever. It's apparently a NPC from the previous MMO. That might just be just a callback. I don't think these games are in any way really connected, to my understanding. Enough grief to drown in if we let ourselves be overcome. But we will not. Faye, Estinian, I will consider the perspectives you brought me and devise a plan to help my people confront this adversity. Come, I would like you to be in attendance when I announce the proposal to my assembled functionaries. Okay. Let's go talk. Big dragon. All the different sort of casts.
I thank you for your attendance.
Let's go.
The riches the Radiant Host have retrieved were hoarded in Alzadar's name. A fortune I set aside for a future day of need. And lo, that day hath come. May it aid our wounded city in reclaiming its vibrancy and vigor. In better times, I would leave such a task to our capable Ahawan. God's rest his soul.
Yep.
Finding myself bereft of his counsel in the here and now, I will assume the responsibilities of mine office directly. Firstly, the treasure shall be sold for more convenient currency. Thence, invested into the trading port of Yedlamad. Our merchants must have their operations restored, their ships rebuilt. Commerce must flow once more. None were spared the tragedy of the final days. Of this, I am well aware. But an absence was created by the loss of Karazal's consortium.
Yep.
And by filling it, we provide new means for our fishermen, our artisans, and others to bring their wares to distant markets.
And what of the children who were left without family to care for them?
That is a concern which weigheth heavily upon my mind. The simple gift of coin will soon be exhausted. solution is needed, one which doth guarantee their welfare for years to come. Thou hast surely seen how other nations rise to meet this challenge, adventurer. What dost thou deem the wisest course?
Well, deferring to me. Is it a choice or just oh, it is. Taxes, levy them on trade profits in exchange for your investment. It's the most basic one. It takes a village. Okay, that old adage. Or Idleshire's orphanage was funded through trade in highly coveted goods. True, I have done a lot of that in Idleshire. Huh. This is just dialogue, but I wonder. I kind of like the Idleshire reference. That doesn't necessarily mean that the kids are looked after. I mean, there was an orphanage and it was funded through, which I guess is what the helping point was there. I mean, I maxed out the Idleshire orphanage stuff on all the weekly turn-ins, the collectible turn-ins. That's how I did a lot of my crafting or gathering leveling when I was learning the game last year. I'll do Idleshire. Let's hit him with that one. It's about orphaned kids.
Of course. We can draw on trading profits to build a new institution.
Mm-hmm.
Let us put this idea into practice. A contract shall be written, requiring all who receive of Al-Zadal's treasure to commit a portion of their future earnings towards the running of an orphanage. Now, such an influential policy is deserving of a worthy name.
Would I have to name it as well? Oh my god. Something with Khalzal seems appropriate. Okay, why not honor one of your most successful merchants? Well, that just sounds like you would just do Khalzal then, no? Unless there's someone else. That just kind of throws the question back at him. That seems like the most obvious one. Even though it's not necessarily tied to orphans directly, because he was just the trade consortium guy. Yeah, I'm gonna answer your question with a question. Let's see what he says. I have someone else in mind.
A successful merchant. I believe I see thy reasoning.
Yes.
Khalzal
Yeah.
should be remembered, not as the blasphemy which terrorized Thavnair, but as a hard-working and generous man who brought much wealth to our shores.
It's fine.
Do any among you object to this proposition? Many here lost loved ones to the beasts.
In that time of strife, any one of us could have broken. Any one of us may have been taken by despair. When I think of Khalzal, I feel no hatred. Only a stinging regret that we could not save him as well.
Hmm.
Isn't that right, men?
This bodes well for that boy. Mirad, was it? Perhaps he can cut ties with that shady peddler.
Yeah.
Then let it be done. Henceforth, this initiative shall be known as the Khalzal Foundation.
Simple. Sure. Yeah.
Nabdeen, thou art to assemble a patrol and ensure that no child in this city liveth in squalor.
Do they already have like a building and a location set aside? That's is there a place?
Clerks, see to the management of our funds and make haste. Our citizens must not suffer a day more than is necessary.
Dragon and man, side by side in pursuit of a brighter morrow. I'm reminded of Ishgard.
Aww. True, I did all the Ishgardian Dragon collectibles as well. I have the whole mount with the whole L2 quest line and uniting dragon and man in the pursuit of crafting and making tasty treats, and then also making like pots and pans and things that dragons could use with their clawed hands. Giant Poporo pancakes, Scion compote, and Scion bravarios. I'll take the silver pieces for the Doma Enclave. Doman. The Enclave in Doma. Okay. So many pets phasing in. As a pumpkin. Veteran Radiant. Oh, I gotta talk to Scions first. Whoops. Fruitra is warming to his role as satrap. Clearly, all those years behind the curtain were not spent napping. Well, he was controlling a simulacrum, like with his crazy mental dragon powers. Bridging the rift. The veteran Radiant wishes to share his gratitude and give me 1,605 gil, apparently. Thank you for putting forth Khalzal's name. Those whose lives he enriched will take comfort in seeing his legacy honored. Ah, crap, it's automatic! Ah, I always do that. I have to do that quick. Damn it. I missed some dialogue. He was thanking us. Fair enough. Understood, thank you. Vishtola must be finished her study at the Void Gate. Shall we hear what she has to say then? I will go with you. Oh, yeah, of course. I clicked to go to next. I wish you could have two different settings for that. That would be a nice little quality life adjustment. If it's a voiced cutscene, like the game knows its voice, it just goes to automatic. You can like toggle it on, and then when there's no talking, it's not voiced, it goes to click. Because if you do automatic but reading, it goes real quick. You gotta like speed read. So I usually take time and just click the dialogue manually when it's this. I thought the satrap would be too busy setting up the foundation. Our clerks have been well-oiled cogs of this administration since before Ahiwan assumed the office. They understand what needs to be done. I'm curious to learn what conclusions your Archon has reached concerning the gate's unique construction. Head in with the nod, then you're in. As you wish. Allow me to lead your way, Your Excellency. Lead the way, Your Excellency. Estinian Batman-y voice. Something like that. You can find your way to the High Crucible, I trust. I must rejoin my unit and assist with bringing the city's orphans under our care. Very good, very good. Obviously, we're talking to someone right there as well. But there'd be people standing there in circles. So she's just here at the High Crucible, though. Not back in the dungeon. So, not at a different... She's studying this thing, not the other. Okie doke. So over this way? They've definitely set up a few different notes for where not only this patch is going to go in these last couple quests, but also where the next patches will go. Shall we hear what your scholarly comrade has to say? For one who claims it is too late to have his sister, Preacher seems awfully interested, or to save his sister. Preacher seems awfully interested in whatever relation or revelations Y'shtola might have to share. I kept like reading down one line, trying to skim read ahead of what I was reading to know what he's saying, or just reading in general. Reading too fast.
Right, here we all are.
Oh, voiced. Okay, let's go.
You discovered something new.
I took a closer look at that device. I was able to determine how it keeps the void gate sealed, but not how it might instead be employed to expand the opening. For that, I would need to reference the technique developed by Vritra's alchemists, no records of which appear to have survived the intervening years.
We know this, so why have you sent for us? Have you learned aught of value or not?
Patience, good sir. One must introduce the subject before launching into specifics.
Okay.
From what we understand, travel between worlds is accomplished by passing through the nebulous rift which exists between them. Picture, if you will, the moment you were called to the first.
Picturing.
You touched a focus of some kind to help the Exarch pinpoint your location. His summoning spell then channeled the energies of the Crystal Tower to begin your journey to his world. The magics tore a hole in the wall separating source and shard, and cast you into the intervening nothingness. In that place, the laws of nature hold no sway. Yet even through this realm of temporal and spatial instability, you were borne safely to your destination in the first. The feat that guided you across such an unimaginable distance, both physical and metaphorical, was nothing short of a miracle.
Pretty powerful stuff.
Then what of the many voids found in the source? Who guides them here, and how?
An excellent question. Though there are several methods by which the Void's denizens might intrude upon our world, the rituals of summoning are the most typical. For example, let us consider the Gargoyle, a creature of middling power.
Okay. Definitely killed a bunch of those. They're on the Masked Carnival, too. Oh, this cutscene.
To call upon such an entity, the prospective summoner must force open a void gate.
This is in like Totorok or
The portal
something.
lasts but a moment and is relatively small, allowing only an imp or other lesser being to squeeze through with their physical body intact. Our more powerful gargoyle, however, is too large for that. Creating a gate big enough for him would require vast amounts of energy, far beyond the reserves of any one mortal practitioner. Instead, 'tis far more common to bring over only the entity's soul. We had a taste of that ourselves when a certain exarch dragged us to the first.
Yeah, but where's the body come from then? Slurp. Sklorp. It was like
And just
animating a
as our bodies
statue.
remained in our world, the Void Sense physical form is left behind in the 13th.
Yeah. I guess it's all still just ether, right? So
Once at its destination, the summoned soul is granted a temporary shell to inhabit. In the gargoyle's case, a stone effigy has proven a suitable vessel.
it would still be made out of stone, unless ether alchemies itself to make flesh. I don't know.
Wait. You said that Voidsent must be called here deliberately by someone in the source, reeled in like a fisherman with his catch.
Yeah.
Exactly. For a being to navigate the chaos of the rift, with or without form, there must needs be a guiding agent on the other side.
When the hordes poured forth from Alag's Great Gate, it was the technologists who drew them through. Though to my knowledge, planar fissures are in essence natural passages between our world and the void, which require no such guidance to traverse. Why is only the boundary between the source and the 13th so fragile? So much so that it often tears open of its own accord.
I believe solving that mystery is key to understanding travel between the source and its reflections.
And how do you intend to get your answers?
By doing it again.
No, the danger is too great.
Future immediately knew. Yep.
Perhaps. But what some call danger, others think of as adventure.
We're going to the 13th, baby. Let's go. Bum, 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 bum.
Never mind that the means to expand the gate has been lost to the ages.
Well,
Even could you force the portal wide enough, you would be greeted by an army of murderous horrors the very instant you step through.
yes, but I have the button called glare.
I assure you I was most attentive. And I agree that to go alone would be certain death. But if I were to bring along one who has already braved the 13th and humbled the cloud of darkness,
True.
I imagine my chances would be much improved.
Aren't you mad at me for the snark in the dungeon, though? No? Forgot about that? So much for taking it easy. Just count me in. Let's go. Let's go to the 13th. There's only so many reflections
I had a feeling
left.
You might say that.
How many reflections are left? 8? 7? Uh-oh. She gonna... Uh-oh.
Once again, I put my life in your ever-reliable hands.
Oh, she's gonna go into a soul crystal?
That said, as much as I would like to march straight back to the Void Gate, there is the small matter of being unable to open it without the Satrap's personal authority.
Oh my... The side eye. What is she, Winnie the Pooh? Think, think, think.
As I've said before, I will grant you and yours any boon you choose to name, provided it does not endanger my people.
Correct.
You have my word that we will take every precaution. Not a single void scent will be allowed to threaten Radzatan, assuming we manage to expand the portal in the first place.
You have a plan.
You have a plan.
Actually, I had hoped you might help us with that. I presume the alchemists you retained supplied you with some explanation of their methodology.
That they did. House Daemir was overseeing the project.
Daemir. Ah, yes. The family associated with the great work.
Okay.
I did not fully comprehend the theory, but their research.
Dude, look at
began with
Varshan's
Voidsent, which
shoes.
slipped through the fissure. After a thorough examination, they created an arcane simulacrum possessed of similar qualities.
Are those comfortable?
A man-made Voidsent, if you will. It was apparently indispensable in their efforts to enlarge the gate.
Yep. Okay.
A man-made Voidsent.
That's why I reread.
Yes. Being great admirers of the Archons, House Daemir submitted detailed notes to Charlene's official committee. They expected praise and accolades for their simulacrum, and were thus devastated to be informed that their work had been classified as prohibited material.
If that's true, then those notes might still be stored in a forbidden archive somewhere. Not Google, of course, since that library had yet to be built. Which leaves us with...
The restricted section of the Numenon, or with Graha's favorite place to sneak around with what? You can just play dumb. Yeah, the restricted section in the library at Hogwarts. Clearly, we gotta poke fun at Graha. That's from the main story. Yep.
Indeed. Numenon's restricted stacks may very well hold a copy.
Libraries, by the way, in fantasy games.
In which case, I say we head directly to Charlene.
Can do. Oh my god.
Unless you anticipate needing help to reach the high shelves. I see myself being of little use. Go on ahead. I still need to find Mirad and tell him about the Kalzal Foundation.
Aw. He's still thinking about that orphan boy. Look at his bleeding heart.
Let us be on our way as well.
Just pre-turn that off. Vratra's worried or hopeful?
They are resolved to venture into the void.
Yes.
Do I sit idly by?
I don't think so. But if you send your simulacrum or you go through somehow, then you're not here if anyone needs you. Huh. Exposition. Triple dot from Varshan. Speak with Y'shtola at Charlene's Aetherite Plaza. Have her accompany you. Can do. Is it gonna be just Y'shtola here, or is we gonna find Graha as well to go through the? Because Y'shtola, I don't think has access to that section of the Numenon anyway. Find out, or Krile could be here. If we're to enter Numenon's restricted archive with a minimum of fuss, then we must secure the permission from the Forum. Oh God, the Forum, totally, not just Krile. Okay. First, however, we shall need to enlist the cooperation of a member to broach the matter on our behalf. Who do you think might be inclined to assist us? Well, the twins? No one springs to mind. The twins? What of Scholarch Montaigne? Oh yeah, he could, okay. She was thinking someone at the Forum, not someone as a representative. So okay. He did come to Graha's defense during the inquiry, after all. True, true, true. He's the guy that taught us the whole ether states of being in that classroom scene, right? To settle, let us head to the phenomenon and see if he's willing to help us once more. Ishtola is now accompanying you. So now you can see talking point locations on Blue Quest. 2 blue quests. There's a talking point right outside. Anywhere else? Nope. There were updates in 6.1 for these NPC following you quests, so you know where you can talk to your NPC now. You can look on the map and these little chat bubbles pop up. So you, A, don't miss them if you want to see them, or you're not just only looking in the on the route you're taking, I guess. Which is helpful. Ring. So this is a mission to a mission in Mordona. What's that one from though? It's freaking from the annex. What's that from? And this is the one where this is just the extreme trial. I'll go talk to him. Haven't done that yet. Haven't had time. Won't have time tonight really either, I don't think, unless it was after raid. As a groundhog. Discuss the studium. You can use regular talk though. If I was pressed to name our allies in the forum, Scholark Montrejane would certainly be at the top of the list. Hopefully he agrees to aid us with our request. I apprenticed to Master Matoya at the age of 7 and labored under her tutelage for a full decade. I never had the chance to attend the studium. Neither did Thancred, as I recall. Soon after, Master Louis Sox took him in off the street. Oh, soon after Master Louis Sox took him in off the streets, he was put in the care of another Archon. His was a rigorous and practical education in the arts of espionage and survival. I sometimes wonder what my life might have been like had I pursued studies here instead. Tea at the last stand after a day of lectures? Or should I wonder as well? What? You could be like, play like Goofy with her? Nah, tea. Tea after lecture. That sounds great. Well, Charlie and tea might just be water. Hot water. Probably just hot water. I love drinking just plain hot water. Oh boy. No crushed up beans or tree leaves in it at all. Nothing. It does sound lovely. Afternoons with friends spent sipping tea and debating theory. Still, I wouldn't give up my time with Master Matoya for the world. The dank cave I studied in was about as far from the bright, airy halls of academia as one could get. But it was a wondrous, magical childhood nonetheless. Aww. You did take her name when you got ported to the first, so it clearly meant something to you. All these red quests, no studium quests I need to do for all my crafters. There he is. Can we have another lesson? God, look at this guy's robes. What an absolute Omega Chad. Look at these robes. Look at the freaking tufts off his elbows. Also, how heavy do you think that cloth is? It's gonna be some thick cloth, no? Voiced cutscene with this cool guy? Nope. Visitors, and quite esteemed ones at that. What may I do for you? Pray forgive the intrusion, Scholark. We are hoping you might help us secure permission to enter Numenon's restricted archives. Oh, look at the cheeky grin. Oh, no furtive forays into the stacks this time, eh? Well, it's her falling asleep on stacks of books. I applaud this newfound sense of propriety, yet in all this wide world of comparative serenity, What so compels you to disturb a vault of forbidden wisdom? Well, you see void scent and creatures coming through a rift, and Vritra's got a portal to another reflection, and I want to go back and visit my big cat boyfriend in another world. Y'shtola's saying that, not me. Fascinating. I had no idea such a technique existed. I would have been surprised. Oh, I would have been surprised if you had. If my assumption is correct, the research left behind by House Demier has lain dormant in Charlian's archives for many centuries. And if you unearth this research, what then? Surely you don't intend to cross over into the void. Thinking. Needed the Praetorium today, Nick? We were talking about it last night in Discord. Apparently it's quite the thing. Not only are those encounters all level 50, of course, you have way less abilities, but yeah, they are reworked in a way. I think it was Scrappy doing them last night, and he was wiping on Gaius, which is a phrase / sentence I've never heard in a long time. So quite difficult now. Well, it's because it's all brand new, right? But it's almost like they've injected new style of Final Fantasy XIV, right? The Shadowbringers Endwalker style, and updating the really old encounters. That's way more than I thought they were going to do. But yeah, they're just new fights, right? They're new boss fights, new trials, basically. And if you unearth this research, what then? So you don't tend to cross over to the void? It is, in fact, precisely what we intend. No, not even swayed. To what end, pray tell? To develop a method of traversing the rift. For one, that I might keep my word to a distant friend. See, she did a thing! I even did it myself, and then she immediately does it. I told you to do the Pooh Bear thinking emoji. Distant friend, she says. Are you sure that isn't husbando territory? Y'shtola, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, eyebrows, eyebrows. Sentiment aside, I have journeyed to the end of existence. I have heard, felt, and thought endlessly about the truth of our world and the echo of its future. Yeah, I want to understand everything, to unravel it all down to its very last secret. What scholar worthy of the name wouldn't force open a void gate or two if a grand revelation was the promised reward? Ha ha! Marvelous! An audacious proposal worthy of Master Matoya herself. After hearing the whys and the wherefores, I, for one, do not believe you would use the knowledge for ill. I see no reason not to present your request to the forum's consideration. Do we have the ability to control the rift if we try to open it, though? Wouldn't it just be like black hole? Just like, you know, it's always the question of what if the Large Hadron Collider actually does the thing and a singularity pops open? Can they control it, or does life just all end on Earth without us even realizing it? We just get sucked up into nothing, compressed into a space that is so infinitesimally small that everything that the human race ever is a little dark, but it's the void, right? We're on brand. Although your petition would be better received if you had the support of another well-placed acquaintance. The twins? Ah, well, Master Fortuno, of course. He can hardly ignore an earnest request for his dear children's most treasured comrades. True. I was hesitant to approach him directly, but there is no denying that having Master Fortuno on our side would tip the balance in our favor. Very well. We will pay a visit to the Levia estate and plead our case. This is when we unlock the dress-up Alphino and Alizé's mom, the minigame. Because, you know. One last thing before you go. I would consider it a personal favor if you might share with me the discoveries you make in the void. Well, yeah. My appetite for knowledge is every bit as insatiable as yours, I'd wager. So, if you could see your way to indulging an old man's curiosity. Of course, Skulark. We'll be sure to pass on any revelations. You know, traveling through wormholes, no big deal. He's also staring at a blank chalkboard. What a wild man. The forum can be a cantankerous beast. One needs a persuasive voice to get it moving in the desired direction. Montagane seems optimistic, but I doubt convincing Fortunato to champion our cause will be as simple as showing up on his doorstep. That's probably fair. So many quests. Oh, so many quests. Hi, Alpha. Hi, Alpha. All right. We should be able to ether right now. They fixed this. So let's test the patch notes. They're supposed to... Oh, okay. So I don't know if she etherited. She just kind of appeared there. But that was one of the fixes. She automatically following me? Okay, cool. So they did. It totally is fixed. It'd be cool if they RP'd and actually also aetherided with you, but... Alright. Alfred, let me in. Let me unlock the, Oh, is this going to be the... For our assistants, that's where we get custom deliveries to turn in stuff at the Levier estate for, like... That's going to be our way to repay them, potentially. Ah, Master Bay. Mistress Y'shtola. How may I be of service? We come to speak to Master Fortunato. Is he home by any chance? Yes, the master is in residence. I shall inform him that he has guests. Indeed. 2 guests with large sticks. There he is. Those dresses look so weird. Would you wear this? This fucking like... Oh, it's almost like a hoop skirt. It's so wild. Like, the whole top robe part is great, but I don't know. Well, well. Brilliance would invite you inside for tea, but I assume this is not a social visit. You have some matter of importance to discuss. Then pray proceed. You have my full attention. Also, like, void scent and void portals and traveling between reflections and stuff, you know, that's what I was just doing. Got some itches to scratch. Well, I suppose I should praise you for following the proper protocols this time around. Ha ha ha, what? Scholarch Montagane expressed much the same sentiment. I assure you will not attempt to circumvent the forum's authority again, unless it is absolutely necessary, of course. Of course. You do understand that the restricted archives are restricted for good reason, yes? If no pressing need exists, then why risk the consequences of employing this forbidden knowledge? For a brother who misses his sister, she was his guardian and his friend, a selfless hero who crossed the rift between worlds to save her homeland from horror and suffering. It's very sweet, but also, what about your husbando? But the brother has given up on thoughts of reunion. He spends his efforts elsewhere, watching over people yet healing from the flames of the final days, loyal to his duty while betraying the longing in his heart. And she's talking about Vritra, obviously, and his sister. Dragon siblings! 'Tis no vital mission, perhaps, reuniting these siblings, but it feels a worthy cause to pursue, all the same. As one who feared losing his own loved ones and spent years in research to prevent it, surely you appreciate how painful such a separation must be. Oh, heartstrings! Just pulling on them. Reflections are still very much a mystery to us. Offering to share your experiences in the first should constitute a fair exchange for our cooperation. Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay. Do not celebrate just yet. The forum must still be convinced. I will add your request to the list of today's deliberations and deliver the decision to you at the Baldessian Annex. But also, where do we get the quest to dress up your wife? Also, what the heck? That's a red bunnied head boy. Oh god, he stole us in my body. I thought... The matter is out of our hands. All that remains is to return to the annex and await for the forum's decision. I'm sorry, Yashtola. It spawned me... We were sharing the same space and time. What the heck? That was ridiculous. All right. To the Baldessian Annex. But wait. Worth it.